Hello, this is Mark Sobowitz with the Clarion Voice. And today we are going to hear the testimony of one of the members of Victory Outreach in Paso Robles, Bella Magana. Bella, thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Really
You're very
appreciate it.
welcome. Now, where are you as far as your standing at Victory Outreach? Are you one of the leaders, or what is your involvement with Victory Outreach?
Yes, I'm a leader in the home. I'm staff in the home. Actually just getting closer connection with God right now too as well.
Okay. Okay, so I understand that for the last year you've been out of prison, correct?
Yes.
Okay, congratulations, very
Thank you.
nice.
Thank you, Jesus.
How do you how do you feel? How are you adjusting? Are you doing well in that regard, or
Yes, I'm very blessed. I just first want to just thank God for my salvation. Also want to thank our founders, Pastor Sunny and Sister Julie, for this ministry that they've opened. Of course, my pastors, Pastor Pete and Sister Becky, for just the homes that they've provided for each and every single one of us. But it was a blessing. It was a blessing. It was all spiritual, all God led. That He opened up the door that He did open up for me.
great? Now, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story?
Okay, so last year I was doing a life sentence. I was doing 16 to life in prison. About 3 years ago, well, 4 years ago, I was found guilty of first degree burglary, first degree robbery, uh, participation in a street gang, benefit of a gang, felon in possession of a firearm. And yeah, I was doing life in prison. As I was in prison, I was there, and a lot of women there would tell me, "Just get comfortable. You're a lifer here. You just need to settle in and get used to this is going to be your new home." And I refused. Like I refused to accept it, and I just kept telling people, "No, God's going to get me out of here. Like God's going to open up this door." And I just kept my faith, like always continuously. It was a struggle for me because I also lost my mother while I was in prison. So being at your lifer, you're not allowed to attend funeral services. We're
Okay,
not allowed to go. So it was hard, but my mom was like my motivation. She always was like, "You got to stay prayed up. You need to make sure that you're asking God," because that was just what she was raised to do. That's what I was raised to do. We believed in God. So I did. I kept it. It was a battle, and it was a hard struggle, but just know the Lord was my guidance, and He was the one that delivered me from prison.
good. Now you had a foundation in the family for of faith,
Yes.
essentially. So what led you the other way?
Well, I just got involved in gangs. I wanted to live my own life, basically. I wanted to do what I wanted
Okay.
to do. Being young, that's kind of what a lot of people nowadays do. A lot of kids, they just want to live their own life. And that's exactly what I was doing. I wanted to live life to the fullest and live it up to do the most, and I found myself back into the prison system, like continuously in jail, in and out, doing the same thing, and found the same results, getting nowhere. It was going to either be life in prison or death. And I knew that what I was doing was wrong, but I still continued to do it. I was so entrapped by what the devil had me. He had me in
Hmm.
bondage, just straight bondage. I was addicted to drugs. I was addicted to the street life. I thought I knew no different. And so I just continued to do what I do, knowing that I was going to end up dead or in jail.
Okay.
Yes.
So what changed all that?
Well, I had hit rock bottom, as you could say. I ended up going back to jail again after getting released from prison for doing the life sentence. I went back to jail for like a misdemeanor, and I sat in that jail cell, and I was just kind of like really broken. That like I was like, man, God, like I'm not even gonna ask you for any more chances. I'm not gonna ask you to help me out anymore. Like if it is what it is, it's a misdemeanor, but like I just knew that, man, this could end up, like looking really bad. Like it could end up turning really bad. Well, I was released, and when I was released, brothers John and sister Kim, they're people from back home in Bakersfield. They are the ones that helped lead me to Sister Becky and Pastor Pete. Contacted them and asked them if I wanted to come to a home, and I was just like, a home? Sure, I'll come to a home. And then they were like, okay, but it's in Paso Robles. Are you willing to go? And I was like,
Okay.
yes, I'll go.
Okay. So Bakersfield was your home.
Yes,
Okay.
Bakersfield was my hometown.
Okay. So how hard was that to just to go from your home where you were familiar with things, to a place like Paso Robles?
Um, well, I was really, as well as you could say, like, how could I say this? I was so burnt out. I was
Okay.
burnt out. like that I didn't even realize like how far I was going and where I was going to.
Right.
But the minute that I stepped here and into the home, it was just like a blessing. So it wasn't really that hard
Okay.
to
Good.
leave. Plus, I didn't want to stay where I was at anymore. I was already sick and tired of being there in Bakersfield, getting nowhere and doing nothing. It was leading to nowhere.
How have you developed as far as your interactions with the women in your home? I mean, what has that led you to do?
Well, the interaction with the women, I always told myself that once I got out of prison that I was not gonna ever go back, and then living with a bunch of women again, like it was a little bit of a struggle to go back into a home and then
Right.
be in a like basically in a room with 8 more women, and I was just like, man, Lord, like what are you doing? I said I wasn't gonna do this again. But it was different. There was so much love and peace, and it was just like I wanted that. I wanted that happiness, that joy that they had as well. And then also to know that like what was done for me, what God did for me, could be done with other women. So like I do have a passion for women. Like I'm actually being trained and being groomed right now to be a women's home director. Yes, and
Okay.
I know that's a vision that God has given me, and so that's kind of what I'm going with. It's whatever God leads me to do. So yes, of course, just to help other women, to get into the same path in the direction that God wants for them.
Okay, very good. I mean, are you taking like courses
I'm
or
getting personal training from our home directors, Becky Torres.
very nice.
Yes, yes.
Very nice. Now, what do you feel your purpose is?
My
You know,
purpose to do
yeah,
God's will, to spread the gospel, to be able to share with people that God does change lives. You know what I mean? Like, look at me, I was a gang member, I was a drug addict, I was in prison. I've done lots of things in life that, I didn't ever think it was shameful, and I never thought I was gonna ever change. I kind of figured I was gonna live that lifestyle. But to be able to share with other people and then hopefully, give them like a little bit of hope that man, God could change her life. He can also do the same for me.
okay. So, a year from now, where do you see yourself?
Still in God's will, in God's will, whatever God directs me to do. I'm hoping though, I'm praying that I'll be able to go back into prisons and be able to, share with them, because if they see, like a lot of women there see me get out, and then to see where I'm at now, like if I was to be able to go in there and be like, look at me, you guys knew who I was before, and now look at me now, you know what I mean? Just to have that
Right.
faith. So yes, to go back into the prisons and do that.
Great. I'm curious about something.
Yes.
I'm not familiar with, the way the judicial process works,
Yes.
but you said that you were serving a life sentence. How were you blessed by being released? What caused that? I mean, after all this time.
I had an appeal.
Ah,
Yes, I had an appeal, and just the hand of God, really honestly, that's all I could tell you was the hand of God and moved in that appeal, because it's very rare for you to get out on an appeal.
that's why I was asking. Yeah.
It's very rare. Like it rarely happens. So a lot of people would tell me, don't get your hopes up. Like you're gonna get denied, you're gonna get denied. And I would just refuse to believe it. And sure enough, I got, a response saying that I was gonna go home soon.
Right. Well, that definitely was God's hand on it
Yes, it
for sure.
was.
Very good. Now, as far as leading the women in your home, what are you responsible for doing there?
So I'm the driver in the home. So I do drive the women to their appointments. I drive us to church. I drive us to wherever they need to go. Also, let's see, what else do I do? I do a lot. I'm sorry, I do so much.
That's okay.
So I also help basically with just chores, whatever the girls that the new girls that come in, we break down the basics with them. I also I'm on the worship team as well. Let's see, I do administration for the church as
Okay.
well. So I do a lot of things, but I just, basically just one-on-one, the girls see, they see what God has done in me
Hmm.
and the leadership, like what he's built and what he's done. And like I always tell them, it's not really a title that I'm seeking, it's just how God has positioned my heart.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Let me ask you to do something for me. I
Yes.
want you to look into the camera over there, and I want you to tell some woman who is watching this what it means to have a life in Christ.
Just know the Lord has changed me. It's a beautiful experience to come to the Lord, to be able to come to Him and lay down your shame, your anger, your hurt, whatever it may be that you may be struggling with. Doesn't matter if you come from a lifestyle of prison or a lifestyle of prostitution. It doesn't matter if you come from even just addiction to pills or anything, any kind of hurt. Just know that the Lord can change your life. He has done it for so many women, and I've seen it firsthand the way He has worked. I know because I'm an example, and I'm just here to let you know that if you ever need anything, prayers, whatever it is, you can always reach out to us, Victory Outreach, here in Paso Robles, and you can always help. We find women that will come together and help you out as well. Just know that if God could do it for me, He could do it for you as well.
Very good. Bella, it's a pleasure to meet you and to talk with you. Thank you for sharing your story with us. And
Thank you for having me.
you're very welcome. And by the way, if you want to get in contact with the people of Victory Outreach, they do have a Facebook page that you can do. And then you can also find out how to contact Pastor Pete Torres and his wife, and Bella, of course. And so I welcome you to do that and take the opportunity to find out about their program if you have somebody in your family that needs their help. And this is Mark Sobowitz from the Hub Studios with the Clarion Voice.